there! I was wondering, would you like to follow along with me while I throw together a dessert? No recipe, just winging it? Yeah, I figured. Come on, let's do something with these pears. So last fall, I put up a bunch of pears, and I'll link a video somewhere around here of what I did with those. And I got a package out and I've let it kind of partially thaw here in the freezer. I also found some phyllo dough, so we're gonna do something with that. I think we'll start that out first. If you've never worked with phyllo dough, it's just like a really, really, really thin pastry dough, and you have lots of layers, and you can add butter and or sugar and or nuts in the layers if you want, and you make a cookie out of it. Today we're making a dessert. Oh, looky here, I'm able to get it out in sheets even. Here we have lots of nice long sheets. I'm just gonna take it, overlap it a little bit. I kind of took about half of it. I'll lay it down. And then I've got some butter here that I've melted. And I can't find my regular pastry brush, so we're just gonna use this barbecue brush. And I think I wanna actually peel off. I only use about half of this. Because the best part about this stuff is you want lots of layers. So I've got a nice, probably maybe 4 sheets here. I'm gonna just generously spread butter all over this. I have about 7 tablespoons here. I didn't have quite a full stick of butter. Just use what you have. Let's see. Split that in half again. You guessed it, more butter. Tuck everything in here. We do want a nice edge, but don't want it overflowing that. And then we'll have a 3rd layer. It doesn't matter if it kind of got broke up a little bit. Or a layer of butter. Next, I'm going to take some brown sugar, which I just as easily could have put a brown sugar on each of the layers too. But I'm going to take, maybe 1/4 cup. I'm going to spread that out. And then I've got some walnuts, because I think walnuts and pears go really well together. I got these at Big Lots, but you can also get a big bag like this at like Sam's Club or Costco, whatever you have in your area. And that saves you a little bit of money. And then you can put it into smaller containers if you choose, and put it in the freezer to keep it fresh. I just want to kind of chop these in smaller pieces. do another handful of those. So maybe up to 2 cups of walnuts. Don't forget to put some in those corners. Just try to get it as even as you can. And then I've got my bag of frozen, or partially frozen at this point, pears. And I want to chop those up smaller too, because I left them in halves and quarters. So I really kind of just want some slices. And because they're just a little bit frozen still, they are easier to cut than when they're not frozen. They're just going to get a little bit mushy on us. So we're just making slices. If you wanted to dice it, all you'd have to do is turn your cutting board the other way and slice again. Now, if you don't want to use this many pears, you could get away with probably half this much. I just have pears that need to be used. This will maybe give it a little more flavor too. Make sure I'm spreading it out as even as possible. Now that I've rinsed some of that pear juice off, I am going to take some honey and drizzle over the top. Two to 3 tablespoons. Nothing beats honey. The honey I'm using today came from a local beekeeper, and it actually has a blueberry in it. So I thought that would give it a little extra something. Once the oven has preheated, I'm gonna bake this for probably about 25 minutes, and then we'll cut it into squares and serve it. What do you think? Ice cream, whipped topping, probably just plain is gonna be delicious too. Now we're preheated, so in it goes. I think I'm gonna let that bake another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Let's see. That's looking a bit more flaky, but I'm not sure it's deciding to turn it around and let it go another 5 minutes because my oven sometimes doesn't quite cook evenly. But look at this. Oh, if you guys could smell this. Oh, ho, 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 ho. As beautiful as this looks, I decided I should have put some cinnamon in here. So what I'm gonna do is I've got this cinnamon sugar, and I'm gonna sprinkle this on top while it's still warm so that the sugar can kind of melt and maybe even crystallize a bit. And we'll get that delicious cinnamon flavor, and we'll come back to this later. Let it cool a bit. Mmm. Yum. So here is our pear dessert. I'm gonna cut into this. Ooh, can you hear that? Can you see all those crispy layers? Oh. Serve it with a side of ice cream. I think something that looks this good deserves a taste test, don't you? Okay, I've got a little bit of the flaky crust, a little bit of ice cream, some nuts. Mmm. Mmm. It's like a cookie met a pie. Look at this. Look at all those flaky layers. It's better than a pie crust, but it reminds me of those fancy cookies. Mmm. For something we just threw together and made up together, I think it's a recipe we should probably do again. Thanks for being here, friends. I appreciate you all. Have a good one. Bye.